Welcome to Alaska's Real Deal. I'm your host, Molly McCarthy-Cunfer with the Alaska Department of Fish and Game. In this series, we'll be featuring some of Alaska's state parks and the great fishing opportunities within them. In order to get the real deal this summer, be sure to purchase your Alaska Sport Fishing license as well as your State Parks Pass, and you can visit all of the wonderful sites we'll be highlighting in this series. Today we'll be featuring the Ninilchik River State Recreation sites, so shortly we'll be meeting up with state park staff to learn all about these recreation sites, as well as fish and game staff to learn how to target fish in the Ninilchik River.
So this is Ninilchik Scenic Overlook Campground. It features over 20 sites. Most of it is parking lot style camping with some fire rings and picnic tables on the periphery. And then the trail to get down to the river is just about a 5-minute walk from the campground. If you don't find a site at the Scenic Overlook, or if you're looking for a little bit more seclusion within a forested campground, we have Ninilchik River Campground. That's about half a mile north on the Sterling Highway that has closer to 35 sites, all within 2 campground loops that are fairly well wooded and with a little bit more privacy in between the sites. If you're camping at the Ninilchik River Campground, you can still walk down to the Ninilchik River for fishing. It'd be more of a 5 to 10 minute walk. Campers will also find that there's multiple latrines on site, as well as a dumpster for any trash that they may produce during their stay here. Commonly, people might see moose here. Occasionally, you might see a black bear, but probably more so on the river than in the campground. We haven't had, in recent history, any bear problems here, and we like to keep it that way by not leaving food accessible to bears, which means keeping any coolers with fish, food, or beverages locked up in your vehicle at night or anytime you're away from the campsite, which means when you're fishing too, just go ahead and put that up inside your vehicle so that we keep our campsite clean and we don't have any bear problems in the future.
Now that we've learned about the state recreation sites, we're actually going to head down to the Ninilchik River, where we'll meet with Holly Dickson with the Department of Fish and Game and learn all about fishing this river.
So we're standing on the Ninilchik River today on the Lower Kenai Peninsula. We stock hatchery king salmon here, but there's a lot of other popular fishing opportunities here as well. Anglers also target the wild king salmon and coho and steelhead in the fall, and then some dolly varden starting in July. If I was coming here to target hatchery king salmon in June, this is the setup I would most likely use. So this is a slip bobber on a spinning rod with an egg loop down here to hold a cluster of salmon eggs or roe. So basically set the split bobber up on the main line. I would use 20-pound test. I use monofilament, but you could use braid as well. Then I've got a swivel here, and so then we've got about an 18-inch leader there below the swivel under the slip bobber. We've got some split shot on here to help keep it down on the river bottom, and then an egg loop down here. This is a size 4/0 hook, so somewhere around there would be a great size. Okay, so the slip bobber is a great option, but I would also use spinners, size 4 or even a 3 when the water gets low and clear here is a great size for this little stream. Jig and bobber is great, plugs work, so really, you know, if you get somewhere and you could tell that anglers have been using one thing, try something different. Using a herring under a bobber can also work well here to entice a bite. Starting at the Sterling Highway Bridge is a great place. There's a great couple of holes both upstream and downstream from there. Going downstream, you'll quickly get into the harbor area where, you know, high tides can bring in, or typically do bring in fresh fish. So be a great place to start down there and work your way upstream. There's lots of deep pools, so just, you know, look for cut banks and the slower places and make sure you're fishing on the bottom. Make sure you check your fishing regulations before you go. Look to see if there's any emergency orders or advisory announcements out about this fishery. and then good luck fishing.
As you can see, the Ninilchik River has a lot of wonderful things to offer, from its fantastic camping to its wonderful fishing opportunities. We sure hope you'll consider it on your next family outing. Thanks for tuning in for this episode, and stay tuned on our YouTube channel for more.